Welcome back, YouTube yogis. Emma here. Thanks for joining my yoga class today from wherever you are in the world. We're going to get started in a child's pose near the back of your mat. I guess it doesn't really matter where, but I always like to start near the back. Big toes touch, knees wide, and forehead down. Stretch your arms forward. And then wiggle around a little bit until you find a spot where you can be still. If child's pose doesn't feel good for any reason, feel free to grab a comfortable seat or lie flat on your belly in crocodile pose instead. Once you get here, take a few moments for your mind to arrive to where your body is. Notice the mat underneath your forehead, your palms, and your shins. And notice the breath coming in, the breath going out. And that, even just noticing the breath, it automatically kind of starts to slow. When we practice, we're kind of doing the opposite of speeding up the breath. We're really trying to slow down the breath. So we want to find the top and the bottom of every cycle, but we're not in a rush to get there. In fact, quite the opposite. Breathing nice and slow, like you're inhaling through your nose, but through a straw. And then again, exhaling through the nose, but nice and slow, controlled. Little restriction at the back of your throat. This is Ujjayi Pranayama. Prop up onto your finger pads, lengthen your waist, wrap the outer armpits around. When you do that, you almost feel your forehead lift slightly from the mat. Spreading the shoulder blades, lengthening your sides. Walk your hands over to the right. And breathe all the way down your left side. Walk your hands over to the left. Breathe all the way down the right side. Walk your hands to center, pull yourself up to a tabletop. Bump your knees under your hips, stack your shoulders over your wrists. Cat-cow, breathe in, drop your belly, flip your tailbone to the ceiling. Exhale, round, scoop your tailbone, gaze towards your navel. Again, inhale. Exhale, round. Keep going, inhale. Linking the movement with the breath. So again, letting that nice, slow, controlled breath set the pace for your practice. That means you're never rushing pose to pose. One more. Neutral tabletop, left hand to the center. Send your right arm up. As you do that, the hips want to swing to the right. Can you bump the hips over to the left? Make a fist, roll out your right wrist, or open and close your hand a few times. Then we'll thread the right arm all the way through, palm up. Left hand can either walk forward, or you can put your left hand into your right hand, kind of like you're sliding your right hand away from you. That might help you stack your shoulders a little bit more and feel a little more sensation in your upper back behind your right shoulder. Press down with your toenails, the tops of your feet for 3, 2, 1. Left hand beside your face, unwind, send the right arm up. Take some big backstroke circles with your right arm. Then we'll go right palm down, fingers back towards your knees. Rock forwards and backwards a few times. You should feel a stretch on your right forearm, your right wrist. And then turn the right hand forward, send the left arm up. When you do that, the hips swing to the left, so bump the hips to the right. Roll out your left wrist or open and close your hand a few times. Thread your left arm all the way through, palm up, right hand again. You can walk forward or right hand in the left hand, like you're trying to slide the left hand away from you. You'll feel your right shoulder stack over your left shoulder. Keep pressing down like you're trying to take the space out between the mat and your ankles. Last 2. Last 1. Right hand beside your face. Send the left arm up. Take some big backstroke circles with your left arm. And then we'll go left hand down, fingers back towards the knees. Shift your weight forwards and backwards a few times. Left hand forward. Spread the fingers, gaze between thumbs. Feel a little lift back of the skull. Spread your shoulder blades. Spike your toes to the mat. Hover your knees like 2 centimeters or 1 inch off of the ground. So not a lot. The higher you go, the easier it'll be. So I'm going to look back at your knees and make sure they're not too high. Imagine you have a little balloon or a yoga block between your knees. Tone your belly. Pull the ribs up and in. Breathe for 3. 2. Keep your knees bent. Lift your hips up and back, bear pose. Lift from the outer hips, lengthen your waist. Keep the knees bent as you push your belly to your thighs. Drop your head. You might want to shake the head no. And yes. Keeping the heels lifted, just straighten the legs so the heels are still high. Roll yourself forward to a plank pose. You might need to adjust your hands. Gaze between your thumbs and again spread the shoulder blades. Tone your belly, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Then let's bend the knees, push back towards that bear pose. And again, straighten your legs and roll yourself forward to plank, nice and slow. We'll do that a few more times. Bend your knees, push back, bear pose. Straight legs, roll forward to plank. Bend your knees, push back, bear pose. Straight legs, roll forward to plank and hold. Look forward, nice and slow, lower all the way to your belly. Squeeze your legs as you go down, hug the elbows in. 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down, tops of the feet down. Cactus, bend your arms. I like to make 2 fists. You're going to lift your chest and your arms up off the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep pressing down with the toenails. Pubic bone, hip points, lifting up through the chest. Elbows back towards your jean pockets. Then lift your legs up. 3. Full breaths. 2. Keep your feet lifted. 1, push your hands into the ground by your sides and roll yourself up. Your feet will find the ground. Cobra pose. Wiggle around a little bit. Look right. Look left. Any other movements you like. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take your time. You could always go through child's pose to get there. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. Add a little grip with the finger pads, like you're trying to grab the mat and slide it forward. Again, little spread of the shoulder blades, hollowing out the armpits. Notice if you're dumping into your shoulders or your low back. Try to pull the ribs in, lengthen your sides. Feel free to pedal your legs or keep a bend in the knees at least. Keep moving that breath again like you're breathing. Yes, through the nose, but think about a straw. So you can't really take a huge gulp of water with the straw. Everything's small, controlled, and even. Lift your heels. Take as many little baby steps as you can, all the way up to the front, with each step getting a little wider than the last. Eventually, the outer edges of your feet will line up with the outer edges of the mat. Nice wide forward fold. You can grab the elbows, hang the arms, or clasp your hands behind your head. Find any movement that feels good. A little sway, bounce side to side. Try to bend the knees a lot to take some rounding out of your back. Can you get light in the toes? And if you've got the elbows, switch it out so that opposite arm is on top. Start to squeeze your legs. So squeeze the quadriceps onto the thigh bones. Squeeze your upper thighs where they meet your hips and your low belly where they meet your hips. The more you can do that, the more hinge and fold you're going to feel. Release your arms. Let your arms be really heavy as you slowly ragdoll yourself all the way up towards standing. You'll roll your shoulders out a few times when you get there. Keep the feet out nice and wide. Then we'll reach both arms up overhead. Draw your hands through heart center, interlace your fingers, and push your palms down. Scoop your arms up, and as you do that, notice if you have a tendency to arch your back. Pull the bottom ribs down, hip points lift, and squeeze your legs. Then lean over to your right. Push down through the balls of your feet, the outer edges of your feet, and your heels. But nice light toes. They can still be on the mat, but they're not gripping. Come back through center, and we'll lean over to the right. Squeezing your right oblique. Come back up through center, look up and see which thumb is on top. Then interlace your hands behind your back with the opposite thumb on top. Lift your sternum and lean back. So the hips going forward. Again, toes can be down, but they're not grippy. Take a lion's breath here. Breathe in. Tongue out. Then bend your knees a lot and fold forward. Feel free to shift side to side. Straighten one leg at a time, or just kind of move the head, the neck around. Release your hands. Let's lift up halfway. Plant the hands, step back with your right foot, then your left foot to plank pose. Shift forward and drop your knees. Hug your elbows in, lower chest and chin to the ground. Push your hips down, tops of the feet down, and slide through cobra pose. Little bend in the elbows, pin the shoulder heads back. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Outer hips lifting, heels sinking, but they don't have to touch. Ujjayi breathing through your nose. So the heels, if they do touch the mat, can you get lighter in your toes? If they don't touch the mat, don't worry about it. They're just going in that direction. Lift your heels, look forward, step with your right foot, then your left foot to the front. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Hands heart, and hands by your side. Your feet are together or hip width. Inhale, reach up, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands, step back with your left foot, then your right foot. Gaze forward, knees up or down, lower, chaturanga. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing with purpose. Again, pull the ribs in, tone your belly. So nice neutral spine, long sides. I like to imagine I'm breathing all the way up and down the length of my spine, not in a rush to get to the top or the bottom of each breath. Look forward, step with your left foot, then your right foot to the front. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands heart, and hands side. We'll do 2 more sun A's. Reach up, lean back if that feels okay. Forward fold, push your breath out. Halfway lift. Step back or jump back. If you're stepping back, just alternate which foot goes first. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze to feet. thighs, navel, or maybe eyes closed. Either way, neck relaxed. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front, half lift, forward fold. Rise, hands heart, hands side. Last time, reach up, lean back if you like, forward fold. Half lift, step back or jump back, chaturanga to the bottom of your breath. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel a little bit more space each time you come back. Make more space with every exhale. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Half lift, forward fold. Bend your knees and sit back, Utkatasana, reach up. Exhale, sweep your arms back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms back. Inhale up. Exhale back, sit a little lower. Shin bones back, knees back, stay there, or lift your heels up for 3. 2. 1, heels down, rise, standing back bend of your choice. And forward fold. Half lift. Step back or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back, down dog. Right leg, give it a lift. Bend it, stack it, move it around any fashion. Just avoid dumping into the left shoulder or the left hip. Let's square off the hips. Step your right foot forward and drop your back knee. Come up, Anjaneyasana B. Bring your hands through heart center, interlace your fingers and push your palms forward. Scoop the arms up and then lean over to your right. Sinking into the right heel, but almost driving it down and trying to drag it back. Feel the right hip crease pull back. Come back through center, straighten and fold, half splits, flex your toes. Option to grab the toes or put your hands on blocks. Imagine you're trying to drag that heel, that femur bone back to the hip socket for 3. 2. 1, spin your left shin behind you, left hand to the back of your mat. Option 1, modified side plank. Option 2, lift the right leg, bend the knee, grabbing the foot for modified full moon pose. Either way, push your hips forward. 3, 2, 1. Release the foot if you've got it. Right hand down, roll onto your right toes. Send your left leg up and back behind you. 3-leg down dog facing the back of the mat. Bend your left knee, stack your hips, and move it around in any fashion. Again, just keep even pressure in the hands so you're not dumping into the right low back or the right shoulder. Square off your hips, step your left foot forward, and drop your back knee. Reach both arms up, low lunge. Hands heart, interlace, palms forward. Scoop it up and lean over to the left. The right shin bone pushing down. So almost feel like the inner thighs are magnets pulling towards each other. That left inner thigh tugging back, right inner thigh pushing forward. Squeeze your left oblique. Back through center, half split, straighten, fold, left leg. Flex the toes. And then notice if you're rounding your back, push in behind your heart. The gaze is down so your spine is pretty neutral. Shoulder heads tugging back, last two. One, spin your right shin behind you, right hand to the front. You're in modified side plank. Or left leg lift, bend the knee and grab the foot, modified full moon pose. Either way, hips pushing forward, 3, 2, release grip, 1, left foot down and left hand down. Step back to plank pose. Shift forward and lower halfway, hold there, 5. Hug the elbows in, feel free to drop the knees, 4, 3, squeeze your quads, 2, 1, back up plank and downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot directly forward and rise up, warrior 1. Bring your hands to your heart. Interlace and push your palms forward. Hinge forward as you do that. And then inhale up through star pose, right toes in, left toes out, warrior 2 to the back of your mat. Feel your hip points lift and your hips are still open towards the long edge of your mat, so you're not squaring your hips over your left leg, you're just gazing over your left fingertips. Flip your left palm reverse. And then on your exhale, side angle. Feel free to use a block or elbow to the thigh. Don't forget about that right foot, firm down the outer edge. I really like to extend the top arm here to feel more length on the right side. It also just helps with this next transition, making it feel a little bit more fluid. You're gonna sweep your right arm across into Skandasana at the front of the mat, or side lunge. So Skandasana, left foot flex, toes up. Side lunge, left foot flat, toes in. Either way, I want your right heel on the mat. Why? Because we're gonna drive down into that right heel and spring ourselves to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Take your time and set up your feet. Back of the mat, runner's lunge. Right hand stays down, left arm reach up. Feel the outer hips hug inwards. Let the twist come from your torso, not the hips. Then drop your back knee. I like left hand to the tailbone. You could also go left hand to the right hamstring as you curl back. Reach just the right arm up. Then windmill your hands to the back of your mat. Step back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, left foot step. Inhale, warrior 1. Hands to your heart, interlace, palms forward and hinge forward. Bring it up and around to the front, warrior 2. Just take a moment to set up your feet. Hips stay open towards the long edge of your mat. Breath in, reverse. Breath out, side angle. Notice the toes, less grip there. Use the ball, heel, and the outer edge of the foot. Extend that top arm if it feels all right so that you can sweep it to the back. Skandasana, foot flexed, or side lunge, right foot flat. Drive down through this left heel. You're going to spring yourself with or without your hands to the front, runner. Left hand's down, right arm reach up. Pump up that left leg and sink the right hip. So you're trying to level out the hips. Drop your back knee, right hand tailbone, or right hand left hamstring. Reach just the left arm up, lean back as much as you like. And then framing the right foot, step back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, right foot step. Warrior one. Hands heart, interlace, palms forward. Scoop it up. Around to the back, warrior two. Reverse. Side angle. Skandasana or side lunge at the front, that's the inhale. The exhale, you've got time, take it to the back, runner. Right hand down, left arm up. Drop your back knee. Reach just the right arm up, inhale. Exhale, Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, left foot step. Warrior one. Hands heart, interlace, palms forward. Scoop it up. And to the back, or to the front, warrior two. Reverse. Side angle. Skandasana, or side lunge at the back. That's the inhale. The exhale brings you to runner at the front. Right arm reach up. Back knee down. Left arm reach up. Chaturanga, exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale, right foot. Warrior one. Hands heart, interlace, palms forward. Scoop it up. And around to the back. Reverse. Side angle. Skandasana at the front. And runner at the back. Left arm up. Back knee down. Right arm up. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale. Last time, left foot step. Warrior one. Hands heart, interlace, palms forward. Scoop it up. To the back, warrior two. Reverse. Side angle. Skandasana at the front. At the back, sorry, and runner at the front. Reach your right arm up. Drop your back knee and reach just the left arm up. And chaturanga, exhale. Let's meet in child's pose. Nice little reset just where we started. Slowing down the breath. Hopefully feeling heat building in your body. Maybe a little bit of sweat. Building heat is part of the yogic practice, building tapas that burns away impurities, creates change. So whatever you feel is impure, maybe that's muscle tension, tightness, resistance in the body, or maybe it's resistance mentally, burning through those things and letting them go, making more space, feeling lighter. Let's slide all the way forward onto our bellies. Bring your knees together and feet together, tops of the feet down. And then from here, you might even already crawl the ribs a little bit more forward so your sides feel long. Let's cactus bend the arms. On your next inhale, lift your chest and your arms up off the ground. Squeeze shoulder blades together and then lift your legs up. Try to keep the feet together as much as possible. It should be hard. Extend your arms back and make a bind. Baddha Hasta Shalabhasana. Reach your knuckles towards your heels, slight tuck of your chin, lengthen the sides of your neck. Keep squeezing the legs together. 3. How much of your thighs can you peel off of the mat? 2. And 1. Release left ear to the mat, arms by your side, relax. Right ear to the mat. Back through center. Option 1, Baddha Hasta Shalabhasana again with opposite grip, or bend your knees, reach back, Dhanurasana, bow pose. Squeeze an imaginary balloon between your knees. I like to flex the feet, but you could point the feet. When you're ready, kick back into your hands, squeeze that imaginary block. So you don't want the knees to be bowing outwards. I like gaze forward. If you prefer gaze up, go for it. Feel free to rock a little bit on your belly for 3, 2, 1. Release. Hands under shoulders, roll it up, cobra pose. And then we'll take it to child's pose to reset just for a breath or 2. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Bump your left foot a little to the left and come up to a high lunge crescent warrior. Cactus, bend your arms and hide your elbows out of your peripheral vision. Keep really heavy in your right heel. We're going to shift forward, hug left heel to butt, setting up dancer pose. Reach your left hand back, preferably inside grip on the foot. Start with the knees together, hips pointing forward. The entire time, we're going to try to keep the hips square. So as you kick back, don't let that left hip open up to the left. Feel the outer left hip go down. And when you're ready to extend the right arm forward, plug the right upper arm bone back into the shoulder socket so your shoulders are as square as possible. I like a gentle bend in the standing leg. Feel the right thigh bone push back. 3, 2, 1, or both hands diving to the ground. Either sugar cane pose, right hand to a block is great, or standing splits. 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot behind your right foot, crisscross your ankles, and walk your hands over to the right. Walk your hands center. Take a long step back with the left foot. Send your right leg up and back. Bend your knee, stack your hips. Stay there or shift forward and slow flip it over, wild thing. Left shoulder has to be over the wrist. Left leg straight. Push in behind your heart for 3, 2, 1. Slow flip it around. Crunch right knee, left elbow, and kick your right leg out. Do your best to line your toe tips up with your fingertips. Then spin your left foot flat, fall in triangle. I like the left arm reaching forward, palm down or pinky down. If that's too much, go left arm straight up. Plug the right shoulder back, firm down the outer edge of your left foot. And then look down at your right hand. You're going to lower your butt towards your right hand in a wide leg seat. Both feet are flexed. Walk your hands directly down the middle. Keep flexing the feet, pulling the outer edges, the pinky toe side back towards you for 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands back towards you. Right hand outside right hip, just how we got in. Lift your hips up, back to fall in triangle. And then we'll go left hand down into pigeon pose on the right side. Slide your right knee behind your right wrist. Feel free to use props underneath right hip or forearms. Even out the weight in your hips as much as possible so you're not just rolling onto that right hip. Feel free to stay there or begin to walk your hands back. Bend your left knee, reach back for your left foot. Pull your heel into your butt to start. If you'd like to move on, you can bend your left elbow, try to get your left foot at your left elbow crease. So my left hand is like I'm waving at the camera over to the left. Make sure you're not just dumping into the right hip, try to level out the weight in your hips. If that's going well, the right arm might reach up and you can reach for your fingertips, mermaid pose. And if you still feel you have space, here's where I like the right hand to reach for the left big toe. I'm going to start to unthread my left arm, turn my chest towards the front of the mat, and then maybe the left hand can grab the pinky toe edge of the foot. For king pigeon pose, I'm leaning my head back, pulling my toes to my head. It's really hard to talk at the same time. When you're ready, release that and step back, chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale back down dog, lift your left leg up, step your left foot forward, right foot a little to the right, high lunge crescent warrior. Cactus, bend your arms, get really heavy in your left heel. Shift forward, hug your right heel to your butt. Hips square and start with the knees together. Right hand reach back, inside grip. Chaturanga dancer pose. Start to kick back, but don't let the hips open to the right. Drop your outer right hip a bit. Extend your left arm forward when you're ready, and just be really mindful that you're not letting the left shoulder go forward. Outer right hip dropping, left thigh bone pushing back. 3, 2, 1 or both hands diving to the ground, either sugar cane pose, left hand fingertips or block, or standing splits. 3, 2, 1. Right foot behind left foot, cross the ankles, walk the hands left. Relax your neck. Walk your hands center, right foot step back. Send your left leg up and back, inhale. Bend it, stack it, stay there, or shift forward first, then slowly flip it. Right shoulder plugging back. 3, 2, 1. Slow flip it around, crunch, left knee, right elbow. Kick your left foot out. Try to line your toe tips up with your fingertips. Spin your back foot flat, fall in triangle. I like the top arm extending, but if that's too much, just reach it up. Look down at your left hand, lower your butt towards your left hand. Wide legs, feet flexed, walk it directly down the middle. Begin to walk your hands back towards you, left hand outside the left hip, lift your hips up, fall in triangle, and then we'll look down, slide left knee up behind left wrist, pigeon pose. Now I'm sure the mic is picking up on what's going on outside. We've got some landscapers, so please just bear with me. I can't, control every single surrounding. I'm already in a studio space, but I can't necessarily control what is going on outside. So just do your best to bring your focus to your breath. There will always be distractions. So whether you're doing a class on YouTube, whether you're practicing on your own, I do this, I'll notice dirty floors or things that have to get done, or even if you're in a studio class, it's easy to get distracted, see what other people are doing. Part of the practice is acknowledging those distractions and your reaction to them and then letting them go. Stay where you are, or you can start to come up and reach for your right foot. Make sure you keep level weight in your hips. You're gonna hug your right heel to your butt, feel that quad stretch, and then if possible, the right foot goes to the elbow crease, like my right hand is waving out to the right towards the landscapers. Reach your left arm up, maybe reach for your fingertips, mermaid pose, and if that's going well, you can walk that left hand towards the right big toe. This side's much harder for me. Then you unthread the right arm, reach right hand for the right pinky toe. Turn your chest to the front, lean back. At this point, I have to release my right hand to the mat. This side is too tight. You can always use a strap. And then when you're ready, release that, step back, chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale back, down dog. Look forward, step or jump through to a seat, and let's lie down onto our backs with the feet flat. Some of you might like to grab your ankles. I can't quite reach, so my arms are by my side. Scoop your tailbone, remove the space from your low back and the mat, and then lift your hips up, bridge pose. Really strengthening and engaging the backside of the body in this class. Most people these days, we are seated over a desk, a phone, a steering wheel. Maybe you're cutting hair over a baby, I don't know, anything. Most of us are rounding our backs, so it's really important to also strengthen the back muscles and open up the front side. Lower your hips down, take a breath. Bridge with a bind, lift your hips up, bind your hands underneath you. If that doesn't feel good, don't worry about it. You could also grab the outer edges of the mat instead. Light toes, think about the heels dragging or sliding the mat forward, knees going forward, chest going back for 3. 2. And 1, release bind, lower hips down, take a breath. 1 more. If you've never done an upward bow, I would probably do this with a teacher in person just so you don't hurt yourself, but you can do bridge pose again. Otherwise, the hands are by the head for upward bow, fingers pointing towards your shoulders, the elbows pointing directly up to the ceiling. Again, scoop your tailbone. Start by just lifting the hips up. Push into your hands. You might first come onto the top of your head. Push into your hands more. Keep the toes pointing forward if possible. Push your chest towards the wall behind you, knees towards the wall in front of you. Keep breathing. Relax your neck. 3. 2. 1. Lower yourself down, nice and slow. Draw knees to chest. Rock gently. And then rock up and down your spine. We'll meet Paschimottanasana counter pose, seated forward fold. Wiggle to the front of your sitting bones and flex your feet. Send your arms up and fold over your legs. You can grab your feet, ankles, calves, or shins. Notice the more you squeeze your quadriceps and your low belly, the more hinge and fold you can get. Keep flexing the feet. And then walk your hands back, lie all the way down onto your back. Take your hips up, shoulder stand, or waterfall pose, hands to low back. You could also do this with a block. Waterfall pose is just hips on the mat. If you're in shoulder stand, take your legs overhead, plow pose, toes tucked or untucked, hands back, grab the mat, and make a bind. Ear pressure pose, hug your knees to your temples. Breathe breathe as deeply as you can. Press down with the back of your skull and your shoulders so it's not so much your neck rounding and pushing into the mat. And then start to roll yourself out. Fingertips under your waistband. Forearms on the mat, Matsyasana. Puff up your chest, drop your head back. Point your toes, take a lion's breath. And then lower yourself down. Let's grab a happy baby. And then if there's any other pose that you would like to end your practice with, please feel free, of course. This will be our last pose together, so whenever you're ready, any closing poses you like, and then extend your legs, letting the toes flop out. Relaxing the muscles in your legs, belly, palms. Let the shoulder blades be flat and supported. Let a wave of stillness and calm take over. Release your breath control, controlling or gripping onto your thoughts. Let everything feel a lot easier, more still. Savasana. Slowly start to come back. Notice your fingers, your toes. Breath coming in and going out. And when you feel ready, stretch your arms overhead. Draw your knees in and roll to your right or left side. Make your way up to a comfortable seat. Eyes closed. Backbends, yes, are great physically for all the reasons I mentioned. Probably most of our lifestyles are rounding, but also because it opens up your heart space. And a lot of times I feel like we're very closed off to strangers, and maybe that's a post-COVID thing that we are okay being alone, and we did spend a lot of time alone, but we seem pretty resistant to even making eye contact with strangers, making small talk. Kind of just closed off in general. So opening, doing backbends and heart openers hopefully makes you feel a little bit more open, ready to receive, whether that's just a kind look from someone, maybe it's a conversation with someone you know or someone you don't. Bring your hands to your heart, take a breath in, exhale. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I know there's so many options out there, and I really appreciate your hopefully subscription to my channel and giving this class a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I release videos every week on Wednesday, or you get those early if you are a member on my channel. See you back next week.